What does a good email actually look like? In today's video, I'm going to go through a design that we've created within our email marketing agency inbox, what goes into designing it, the key sections that you want to have within that email, and why we have those key sections. If you like this video, check out the link in the description to the actual design file that we're going to be reviewing, and also subscribe to my newsletter. I have new tips like this every single week, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course, as well. But without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. So this right here is what I would describe as a good email template within Klaviyo, or specifically for Klaviyo. Now, we design everything in Figma, and the reason I choose Figma is because it allows us to collaborate with our clients, the brands we're working with, and allows us to really edit things a lot easier because it's a collaborative tool from a design perspective. But let me just run through the key aspects that a good email has for your email marketing strategy. So straight off the bat, we have the header bar. Now, not every single email is going to need this header bar up here, but for example, if you have a welcome series email, you're going to want to reiterate the discount code that you offered the reader straight above the fold. Now, above the fold is what we call a part of the email that somebody sees without having to scroll. So the moment the reader opens your email, they're going to see this, and they see an opportunity to use a discount code to place their order without even having to scroll down the email, making it easier for them to make a purchase. And obviously, to click the email. The easier you make it for somebody to click the email, the higher the click rates are going to be, the higher the conversion rate of the email itself. So as you can see here, we have the discount header bar just up here. Now, I highly recommend including this in everybody who's received an abandoned cart, browse abandoned email, if they have not placed an order before. And I can go into that in a different video. But straight off the bat, above the fold, we have the discount code that's being offered, if there is one. We have the logo to help build brand familiarity. And then we have the header image. Now, the header image text, usually I try and go for 5 words at the most. As you can see here, this is actually a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. This is because what the client wanted. But in the header image, I try and make it as clear as possible what we're talking about, right? This is the first email that's going to be going in the welcome series. So we expanded it just a little bit to help build that brand familiarity here. And as you can see, a little bit further down, we have the try now. Now we have the product images in here too, to clearly show what we're selling. Bonus points if you can find opportunities for lifestyle photos as well. So the header image, a good header image, has minimal text, product images, and a clear call to action within it that somebody can see, once again, above the fold without having to scroll. Now, this is the desktop version. I'm going to speak about the mobile version in a second. But as you can see here, we scroll a little bit further down and we have the body copy. This is the core message of the actual email. Make sure the body copy is in a web-safe font, because if it's not in a web-safe font, meaning it's a custom font, and this is built as a text block, people who do not have that web-safe font installed on their computer will see the font differently to what you see it. So here we're using Helvetica. Everyone has Helvetica installed on their computer just by default. But if we use some, custom font, we would see it with the custom font being displayed because we have that font on our computer. But if we didn't, we wouldn't actually see it. Would render differently, and it would use what was called a fallback font. For me personally, I just like using a clear, plain, easy to read text, which is usually Helvetica or Arial, and putting that into here as well. Then we have a secondary call to action, which is the next button that they want to click after they see the first one here. By the way, you should have a link to this file in the description of this video, along with a link to my newsletter as well. Highly recommend you subscribe to that too. Then we have product focuses. I like to highlight the best-selling products within the emails. Now, in some cases, you're not going to need all of this, but I do want you to pay attention to how we've highlighted the products here. As you can see here, there's a clear call to action beneath every single product, and we've added a nice little bit of shadow underneath to help bring up the depth of the email. If you do have products that you want to highlight, this is how I recommend you do them. Note on desktop, they've been highlighted in a 4 block. On mobile, they're highlighted laterally. Note, the reason we do that is because if we highlighted it in a 4 block on mobile, this would be too hard to read. The text would be too small, and people are using their fingers to select things, which is going to be harder to do on a mobile device. These are 2 stack by stack next to each other. for them to click what they want. This just makes it a little bit easier to click. Yes, makes the email longer, but in my mind, that's an okay compromise if it makes it easier for someone to click the product. We have a little secondary focus as well. Don't need to have this, but this is just a little secondary piece of information that we may want to have within the email. Could be your mission statement, could be anything such as sustainability goals, free shipping, anything like that. Big must, review blocks. I try and include at least one review in every single email design that we have to help build that social proof and make sure they look real. Obviously, you should only be highlighting real reviews in your email marketing strategy, but make sure they look real as well. Use proper names, like these look authentic, right? Take the text, chuck it straight in there. That helps build the social proof of your brand. Trust badges. These are massive. Highly recommend you have trust badges in every single email, whether that be 30-day money-back guarantee, free shipping, sustainably orientated, all of that kind of stuff. For example, high in fiber, vegan, nice and easy for someone to see and read. Have those in there just to once again help build that reassurance. Keep in mind, most people are going to see this email and click around about here. They're not going to scroll. And the reason we put these here as like subtle reinforcements is because more often than not, people are scrolling this far down the email, need a little bit more of a reinforcement to make that click in that purchase, which is why we don't add it at the top. It's why we add it near the bottom to help with those people who are a little bit more skeptical when it comes to actually engaging with this email. Then obviously socials, social icons, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We like to have those. They don't necessarily create a whole lot of engagement, but it does help give people a little bit more of a reference point, builds a little bit more social proof, and helps just giving you a little bit more uplift on all the other platforms should you wish. Then we have the footer. I like to reintroduce the logo. And then I also like to ensure that we have the unsubscribe text. Now, if you're using Klaviyo and you don't have this unsubscribe text, it's not a big issue. Klaviyo is going to automatically put it into your email. However, I like to have creative control as to what that's going to look like. For example, if I didn't designate what I wanted this unsubscribe text to look like, it could just show up as a white block on black text, which isn't super on brand. So I like to design it within here. So as you can see, the key takeaways really primary call to action, discount code right above the fold, clear call to action a little bit below the body text, product highlights if possible. The big one though here really, secondary focus is not necessarily necessary, but I do like to have it in there if you are having a longer email. Big ones are review blocks and trust badges. Really quickly, you can see we've rendered it a little bit differently here on mobile as well. Note, I like the font to be a certain, or rather a specific size. For desktop, I usually get away with about 16 to 20 size font. Same again for mobile, 16 at the smallest rather. And that's how you design a really good email. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I have a bunch of tips like this pretty much every single week. Obviously, subscribe to the newsletter in the description and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, let me know. More than happy to answer anything and everything that you guys fire my way. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Also, once again, you have a link to this file in the description of the video.